The information in this podcast is for general informational and educational purposes only. Whilst we love unpacking psychology research and evidence-based insights to support well-being, this podcast is not a substitute for personal mental health care or therapy with a qualified practitioner. Nothing we say should be taken as individualised advice. If anything you hear brings up concerns for you, we strongly encourage you to speak with your GP, psychologist, or another qualified health professional. You deserve support that's tailored to you.
We would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to the traditional owners of the unceded lands of the Kulin Nation, on which this podcast is recorded. We acknowledge their rich history and honour the ongoing connection to land, waters, culture, and community.
Welcome to This Might Help, a podcast bridging the gap between evidence-based psychology research and your everyday life.
We're your hosts, Dr. Ciara Hart
and Dr. Lauren Rossetti.
We're two Australian psychologists who are passionate about making psychological research accessible and practical. A little bit about ourselves. I did a PhD in educational and developmental psychology. I work with young people doing counselling and do a little bit of teaching at uni as well. I'm passionate about all things psychology and research, and I'm so excited to be doing this podcast with you, Lauren.
Me too. Excited and a little nervous. I have a PhD in clinical neuropsychology, so that's my background, and I work as a clinician researcher, which means that I'm balancing roles between practicing as a psychologist and also conducting research. And I guess like most of us, I am constantly trying to find the balance between life's demands and looking after my well-being. And so I've been really excited to start this podcast so that we can unpack some of that really amazing psychology-based research that helps me to find that balance in life.
Amazing. And that's a perfect segue into why we started this podcast. So we know there's so much content already out there, but the further we kind of did our studies and have started our careers as researchers, we've realized that not all content is created equal. We really wanted to start this podcast to make evidence-based psychology research, which sometimes might seem really theoretical or statistical. We want to make it super practical and meaning for people's everyday life. So there'll be no psychology fads or pseudoscience on this podcast, just solid research presented in a way that is hopefully engaging and fun and accessible to the audience.
And I guess we really believe that trustworthy science shouldn't be buried under this layer of academic jargon, and want to help bridge that gap between really complex but often excellent research that can be, like you mentioned, sometimes inaccessible, but making that really practical and applicable to our community and helping to get some of those research findings out to the people that it can benefit in our community. Each episode will be tackling a different topic, so from things like social media to anxiety and sleep, and we'll break down those complex research findings, explain what that actually means beyond the statistics, and then explore how this is relevant to your everyday life.
Amazing. So please tune in to our first official episode. We'll be kicking off by discussing social media and how we can find balance online.
You can listen and subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or catch the video version on YouTube. Follow us on socials at This Might Help Podcast for updates along the way.
Catch us in your ear soon. Bye.